My name's 45 RPM. I'm here in Leicester at Bring the Paint Festival, and I'm here for a week to empty my head and get the sort of ideas onto the wall, onto canvas, show the practice, which is mostly like character-based drawings and paintings for, like a mini exhibition.
Where does the name 45 RPM come from?
When I was a kid, I read something in like a really small graffiti fanzine that said you should choose a name that says something about yourself and give someone an insight. So say someone from Sheffield would say, have you heard about 45 RPM's work? And then maybe have a little bit of an insight into who I was, so they'd know if we were going to be mates or we've got similar interests. I was insanely into collecting vinyl when I was a kid, and mostly concentrating on like punk singles for the music, it's like rebellious music, it was exciting, and the artwork on like punk 7 inches, it's just mind-blowing. So instead of 33 RPM, which would be the speed of a 12-inch, I thought, that'd be like hip-hop fans. I thought, if someone deep dived, the 1 in 1,000 people would be like, this guy likes punk music. I just thought, that was kind of a cool idea. Otherwise it would have been like a little generic nickname and it wouldn't have said anything. I loved the idea that, it might mean something to someone all over the world. But it's only a few times over the years of people being like, you collect records.
I was going to say, how did that work out for you? Did that?
Yeah, like genuinely I've had moments where people were like, you like music, obviously, because your name, and you just go, there we go. It was worth it. Like 20 years later, it's paid off.
And tell me about your career into, did you start as a graffiti artist and then have you evolved from there? How did you start?
Yeah, I guess so. I've always only been good at art. It's the only thing I was good at school. A bit of a scamp, and then, you look for your tribe. You look for like the exciting thing. Living in Kent and getting the train to London all the time, seeing like names, there's a guy called Zelda, and I'd just be on the train and it'd be like Zelda, Zelda, Zelda. So even if I was like on the train going to visit my dad, I'd just be like, what is, and I could read it, like, what is this, what is this? And then that's it. When you're a kid, you only need a little bit of imagination and excitement, and it's like the hobby that gets you and you can't stop. And for me, I feel like photography, animation, drawing characters, filming stuff, everything's linked into graffiti. What you're doing, interviewing people, like having chats with people on the street. If you can link all of your hobbies into one thing, 20 years have gone past. So for me, I started with art, and then all of the other bits have got involved along the way, but with the roots of it being graffiti and the fascination with like what's on the other side of the fence.
So you'd always been interested in art, but it was that trigger of seeing, pieces, on the trains really, that did that send a signal to yourself and you said, actually, I'm going to try that?
Yeah, I feel like, you know what you're good at. If you're good at sport, if you're good at, with your foot kicking a ball, you play football. Do you know what I mean? It's like the natural progression is like that path. And I was good at art, but I don't want to draw bowls of fruit. Like all the stuff that you did at school, I'd go, oh wow, it looks better than everyone sitting next to me. So I'm good at this, and I'm excited that I'm good at this, and it's giving me like it's making me feel good that I'm good at it, but I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. Like you go through what would have been like 20 years ago, like here's some artists, what style are you? Do you like Picasso? Do you like Renoir? I get it, I like some of it, but it's not me. And then it's like, gosh, here's some graffiti under a bridge. And then, I like that, I want to know more about that. It's like you're a kid, so the characters are cartoons. It's got everything. For nowadays, kids are going to pick up a book and in that will be street art graffiti. And they go, that. But I had to I'm going to go and drink under this bridge. I'm 14, and then I'm like, what is this? Maybe this is what I'm good at and what I could be part of. And like thirst for knowledge. It's like finding jazz music or something, and you're like, I don't know anything. Where do I start? I buy these records. Like the excitement when you're a kid and that hunger, that's just carried on basically by finding something that ticked that creative like urge that I had inside me.
And it sounds like the social element was quite important at that sort of young age growing up as well, you know, finding yourself in the middle, under an underpass or something in a graffiti covered tunnel must have held an appeal at that time.
Yeah. When you're young and you want something and you know, my career path was going to be living in Kent. Nothing wrong with Kent, lovely place, but you know, it's not, you know, where I grew up. It wasn't, you know, there wasn't opportunities, and it looked like I was going to be a bricklayer and like live in quite a rough place because it was cheaper. And then, you know, you want something. You're like, what? How do I step out? Like some people want to step out of their world, and there's something in you that wants more. And I saw that as, I was like, there's stepping stones to happiness here. Not like monetary or career, but I can find something. Like I can find my people. Like this is something. You know, I'd be like, oh, I'll do, you know, 5 days a week being a bricklayer if I can paint on the weekend, or if I can look forward. I had football. You know, when I found football, I thought I can just work a week, and then you know, whoever we're playing is where I'm going on Saturday, and I can have a beer, and it's exciting, and you know, there's an element of something about it that gives, you know, it gives me chills. But I didn't tick the creative thing. And I thought that's going to be my thing. My tribe is football, and that's how I'll get that excitement. But being able to be creative and finding something at a young age is like heaven, yeah.
Tell me about the characters. I mean, you've got the show at the moment, and you're known for your characters. In fact, there's one behind you there, the robber there. How has your style evolved so that and how has it developed so that you've been to do the sort of characters and the work that you do today?
Madly, I don't think I'm not like, I'm good at art. You know, I've got, but I wasn't like the best at art at my school. I don't feel like I'm a naturally good artist. I feel like I have just got drive. So I was awful at drawing characters until not that long ago. So all of it is, like, I just wanted to draw characters. I wasn't good at them at all. I just decided I want to, you know, as well as letters, I want a character to be there, and I want to be good at drawing them. So this is just, if you draw every day, you get good at something. So I knew what I liked, you know, like 70s mascots or something that would be on a fruit box printed badly. Like that has always appealed to me, you know, like old baseball logos, like that sort of American, you know, look is like just a tick in my head. So I was just like, I have to draw like this, and I have to learn, and I'm just going to keep drawing and drawing and drawing. This is a prime example where I painted this 3 years ago in Leicester, and then I refound a bit of paper, and I thought, oh, what would it look like now 3 years later? And I think it's, you know, twice as good. And that's brilliant, because in theory, in 3 years, if I could do it, you know, but I'm drawing all day, every day. So, you know, I mean, if I was playing the guitar all day, every day, you're going to get better. And I felt like I wasn't good at drawing characters, and I don't think I was really good at letters or anything, but I want to be. I think if you want to be, you know what I mean, you really, really go for it, and you draw every day, and you just soak it all up. Yeah, you can find a style and kind of get somewhere.
So it sounds like there's an element there of, you know, this you know, practice makes perfect to some degree, but you describe yourself as not as someone that has, you know, you've got a raw gift, but you've got to work at it, and that's what I suppose your practice is. And I suppose, are you doing that now in this show? Are you still working on that? Are you still aiming to get better?
I've still got massive hunger, and I want to get better all the time, and I really like that I can look at something from 2 years ago and be like, that is awful, you know, that's awful. Like, not awful, I'm okay with it, but I can just see all the faults and where it went wrong. And yeah, I can't remember who said it, but an artist, I've read somewhere where they said, if you paint the perfect piece, then you're done, aren't you? What would be the point in that? You shouldn't have a perfect piece, you should always be. At one point I challenged myself where I said, I'm going to put 10 walls on my website, and it can only ever be 10, so that if it's not good enough, your newest one, to knock off one of the 10, then it isn't good enough, if that makes sense. This show is me trying stuff, and I feel good about my work at the moment, and I guess this is like, if you look at these pieces of work, I can see my brain working, I can see what I'm trying to do.
And what are you trying to do with this show?
I think I'm trying to paint, basically this show is me painting to be happy. So this is nothing, I don't want to, I'm not interested in making money, getting likes, anything. This is just, I want to paint for the purity of painting. When I was 14 and I painted, and then I took a film photo that I might get developed. So I wasn't doing it for anything. I wasn't doing it to show anyone. I was like hiding the photos at my nan's house in her loft. There was no I didn't show my mates. I was doing it to get a creative feeling. So this show for me is, nothing was planned. All these canvases are just like me pouring out my brain. They're not thought about. Every day I'm coming in and redrawing over what I'm doing and changing stuff. I want this just to be like a pure creative pour out of inside my head with no thought of who's going to come, who's going to look at it, am I going to make some money. So I'd want you to walk in, and if you know me, you just go like, oh, that's RPM. He was happy doing that, and it shows. That's what I want from this, and I think I'm feeling like that's working.
And just looking at the work here, you mentioned you've got some canvases here, and you got the pieces that you're drawing on the walls as well. So it's emerging, it's see it as it comes. It's sort of just happening. But I am noticing a difference in style perhaps between the canvases and I suppose the cleaner cut characters that are drawn on the wall. Is that intentional, and do you have a difference between how you paint on canvas and how you paint on walls?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm a character designer, and you hire me to draw a character, and that character is clean. You know what I mean? You can have it hand-drawn, vectored. Here's your package. And that's what I love to do, and that's what I'm known for doing, I guess. But then the canvas is next to me, so if you're saying draw a frog for a pizza company, I know really what you want, but I know what you should do. But are you brave enough to do it? So I'll give you the brave option, which I'll say no to because it's mad and it would be pushing it. But that, weirder option goes on the canvas next to me. So it's never wasted. So you then get a bit more generic wasted option, but the joy of being asked to do that thing is that I've then got these wild ideas. You've paid me to come up with these other fun ideas, and they go down roughly on the canvases. So that's this, yeah. That's loads of corporate work, and then the cleaner stuff is what it would look like finished. So that's the in-between. So each one of these canvases is 20 corporate jobs. I was telling the mate yesterday that I got a job drawing. Someone was like, can you draw, this isn't a great job, but you wouldn't be able to draw some hearing aids for this company. And I'll just say, yeah, definitely. Because, if they said, can you draw, I don't know, something cool, an eagle, I could just draw that whenever. I would naturally choose to draw something, that looks good. But being pushed outside the box makes me have to use, right, have a coffee, sit with a pencil, like, man, how do I make a hearing aid look cool? And then from that, my brain's gone. Once it gets a bit lost with an idea, something good will happen, which I'll sketch and go, well, they're never gonna say yes to that. But to me, on that one, I was like, the hole inside an ear would be the mouth if you were making it a character. They didn't ask for this. And then there's the line above the ear, and I was like, that would be like, the eyelids would go above it and the pupils would go below. And then the hearing logo with the lines that come out of it would be him shouting, and then that goes on the page, next one. And then they say, well, definitely not that idea, but then that's mine. And in the morning, I would never have drawn an ear, but then it's there, and then maybe on that bit of paper it can become something. And so instead of that just getting lost, I put it onto a canvas.
Do you find yourself doing that a lot? Do you find yourself seeing items or walking around the street and thinking, actually, that'd make a great character, or I could paint that, or I could do something different with that?
Yeah, 100%, yeah. Like I might, go to make my bed in the morning and the pillow looks like a frown. To wild levels of that. Definitely if I'm watching TV or a film, it kind of wrecks a lot of stuff because the brain's constantly ticking over. But I've always found that thinking outside of as a graffiti artist, it would be really obvious to do I've done a rat character, because then it's a bit like a graffiti artist, but it's really fun to just, drift off sometimes, if I had to draw a hearing aid and make it cool, how would I draw it? Because then that's when the really weird stuff comes in, and I'm lucky enough with my job that I get asked to draw, really weird stuff sometimes.
And of course you're here, you've got your show at Bring the Paint in Leicester, 4th time that it's been in the city. Why is it important to be here? Why is it important to do this show in this setting, this festival?
It's important to be in Leicester and to talk to people and show what's possible, because the talking to people is really important, because it broadens everyone's mind and shows that if you care about something and you have a passion, there's a place for it. So it doesn't matter if it's not even about inspiring the young graffiti artists here, that there is avenues you can go down. It's about showing people that there is avenues. So it's nothing, just there is whatever. If you're really into knitting, don't just be into knitting on your own. Find someone else who's into knitting, join a club. If it's just old people knitting, there's going to be some young people make a young person club. You know what I mean? Don't knit at home, hire a space, have some beers while you knit. Whatever you're into, there's an avenue for it. So for me, this is about, showing someone who's walking around the streets and showing that anything's possible, every style is possible. Just to open people's minds up a little bit, start some discussions. It doesn't have to be, you can be an artist. You can just be you can be something.